two topics. Today I'll be discussing number one, what kind of home insurance do you need once you become a homeowner? And the second topic is, what should you do if you're thinking about buying a house, but maybe it's not in the immediate future? Okay. So those are the two topics for today. Thanks for chiming in. I hope you all had a wonderful Super Bowl weekend and you enjoyed your time with family and friends. I hear a lot of people talking about this. I personally cannot comment because I don't usually watch the Super Bowl. Um, but yeah, I just like the memes that people are rolling out. But okay, so let's talk about home buying goals. If any of you are thinking about buying a house and you're not sure when, but eventually you want to do that, here's a few things that you want to consider. Number one is always take care of your credit. Your credit is something that lenders will always look at, and the higher your credit score, the better it will be. This will affect everything from insurance costs to um, PMI if you're not putting the 20% down, and everything will be affected by your credit score. So always think about that too. The next item will be to plan for your down payment. Planning for your down payment is just whatever you can do to save at least 10% every single paycheck. Little by little, it will add up. If you can't do 10%, think about 5% from every single paycheck and just set that aside um, without even looking at it. Maybe you can make that an automatic withdrawal to help you make sure you have some down payment. The next one would be to get pre-approved. That could help you see how much you would qualify with your current debts. And it would also help you see if you have debts, which ones you should eliminate first. And that goes on to the next item, which is prioritize your wants and needs. A simple car payment can dramatically, impact your purchasing power for a home. So if you have a house, I highly encourage you to first, if you don't have a house and you're thinking about purchasing a home, I highly encourage you to buy the house first and wait for the car, because it's a lot easier to qualify for a car than it is for a home. All right, so if those are some small steps you could start taking little by little to eventually be prepared to purchase a home. The next item I want to talk to you today is insurance. Once you become a homeowner, what type of insurance should you have? Well, let's talk about what will happen during escrow. During escrow, you're probably going to receive title insurance, and there's two types of title insurance. One will be just for your title, for your protection, and then there will also be a loan. The lender will require their own title policy. So just remember that. If you're purchasing a home cash, you always want to make sure you do take the title insurance provided. And there's different types of title insurance. I could probably spend an hour alone on every single one of the insurances I'm going to discuss today. But just know that there's several different types of title insurance. And when you're in escrow, you should definitely talk to your title expert to see if you're interested in the upgraded version versus just a standard. And that's apart from the one that your lender gets, because there's a lot of stuff that goes into titles, believe it or not. Then you will also likely get a home warranty. In California, Southern California, is very typical for the seller to pay for the home warranty. And the home warranty usually covers some appliances, not a lot. Some items, it doesn't cover termite usually or very major issues, but it can help out in some situations. So it's always good to get home warranty while you're in escrow, and that usually only lasts for about 1 year. Now, the next item is going to be separated from your homeowners. You're also separated from what's in escrow. Oh, no. This is part escrows too. When you purchase your home, you should always get homeowners insurance to protect your home against either a fire. That would be the basic insurance, to make sure you have fire insurance in case there is a fire. Another insurance that you want to look at is for your personal property. You want to make sure that if that policy does not cover it, what policy will it take for that if something were to happen. Another thing to consider too is if you are renting out, if you're buying a house and you plan to rent it out, make sure you have the appropriate coverage. So if you have a house that you're going to rent, you want to make sure that it will cover for rental, not, and it's not a you have to make sure it's the right type of insurance for how you plan to use the property. If you are renting a house, there's two other things that I would consider for you to, that you really need to consider. One is to make sure that the renters have their own insurance to cover their own personal property. And number two, you should have some sort of insurance so that you don't get sued and says, like some people purposely try to find people that have a lot of property and say they slip and fall and want to sue you. So if you have one or more properties, and then also consider that. So that's a few of the items. I know car insurance is, of course, always really important. And once you have a house, you want to make sure that you get liability insurance so that people don't try to sue you because they realize that you have a house and they try to make a big thing out of a car accident to try to take and go after your home. So make sure you ask these type of questions. Of course, I'm just giving you cliff notes, not even the cliff notes. You really want to talk to an insurance expert that can talk to you about this. If you have other family members, you also want to look into life insurance. So if one of the people who are making income is no longer alive, to help cover the income loss that would happen if of losing a loved one that purchased a home. And of course, I health insurance is so important, and it's one of the biggest reasons that a lot of people aren't in financial problems in California or in the United States. But health insurance is really important. So I always try to get covered. I think it's a required law now here in California. So those are all the types of insurances that you need to have once you become a homeowner. If any of you have questions about any of these, I could refer you to someone that is an expert in those areas and can help you either get proper coverage or help you figure out what's important for you. Another important thing to note is that when you go into escrow, it's really important to note the cost of insurance for your home. And if you are done paying off your home, make sure you keep paying that home insurance after you're done paying the house off. Sometimes people forget because the bank requires you to have that payment, and then once the payment's gone and it's rolled into your monthly mortgage, they forget to get coverage and then pay that off every 6 months or whatever. So if you're done paying your house, there's no requirement for it to be insured, but it's always a great idea to be insured because you never know what could happen. So if there's anything I could help you with your real estate needs, please feel free to reach out, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Take care. Bye-bye.